The new Saints Row is getting trashed by critics, and everybody else, it looks like. Hello, I am Mecca off camera. Who are you? Why are you here?
I'm Rob off camera.
Yay! And I've been seeing a lot of people blaming, the usual suspects blaming the usual reasons. It's whammonism. They see one character with an undercut and they assume it's gonna be just woke trash all over the thing. And that's not what I've seen so far. I've been watching a lot of Let's Plays of this. I have not yet taken the plunge to spend $60 on a game that, well, according to Kotaku, is getting trashed by critics. To me, it looks like a buggy, unplayable mess. For the most part. Yeah. It looks very dated. It looks like there's hardly anything in there. You have 0 NPC characters hardly wandering around. The universe looks empty. It looks very sparse and barren. And I know it's supposed to be in the desert. All right, what do you think, Rob?
I think that this game could have benefited from a few more months in development.
Yeah, it's not quite done yet.
It doesn't feel done. It feels like a game that from maybe about 2007, 2008.
Yeah. It looks worse than like visually and graphically. Some things look really good, but most of it, Saints Row 3 and 4 look better.
Yeah. There's a whole cat fight. Cats are beefing. We had to break this up live on the air as it happens. But I was playing Mercenaries actually a couple weeks ago, and it's a little rough around the edges. It looks like a PS2 game, but that actually holds up better than this over time. As far as the open world aspects go, and is making you feel like you're in a living, breathing world. Granted, I haven't played this yet. I've watched David Jaffe, the guy, developer, Crazy Taxi, and God of War.
See, now you and I played 3 and 4 all the way through, like on co-op, and those look so much more rich. There's NPCs wandering around.
It's a more lived-in world.
Yeah, this one looks very empty. Yeah. This reminds me of some of the early Cyberpunk Let's Plays that were out there. Now, I've played a little bit of Cyberpunk since it's been fixed. And there's a lot more to do in it, but, it's not my cup of tea sort of game. This, however, I am very, very disappointed because I really wanted to play this.
Well, a lot of people did.
Yeah, so I'm kind of holding off on this. So why, what's this angle where people are blaming whammonism and Anita who?
Some people are saying that the usual suspects are saying that, well, it's because Anita Sarkeesian, she had too much input.
On the game development part? On like how buggy and glitchy it looks and how empty the world is?
That has nothing to do with her.
Because that's my issue with the game. It looks very... But then again, I can go a little past Tribe says it looks like a woman with an undercut, so therefore it's a woke
Saints Row is a confusing game on multiple levels. I can't say I didn't have fun with it. There's a compulsive pleasure in open world gaming that's hard to tamp down, no matter how intent the game seems to keep its players from enjoying themselves too much. Its tonal issues are weirdly a function of making characters too likable instead of not enough.
Huh? How are characters too likable?
Well, they try too hard, to be likable. That's one of the things. Sometimes you have to have a character that's just a scumbag. And it desperately wants you to think you're having fun without ever providing concrete steps towards giving players more to do than function in a very rote loop.
Yeah, and that's kind of a lot of what I'm seeing too. What's this one? Games Radar, 3 out of 5.
Games Radar. My Saints Row experience was enjoyable and more occasionally frustrating. At times, it feels like Volition is on the cusp of a breakthrough in both social commentary and open world game mechanics. While at the other times, it feels like upholding the status quo. I love the new cast of characters and what they represent to marginalized marginalized community members who will play this game. I don't remember that being a problem in the last game.
No, you had women, you had characters. Pierce, for crying out loud.
You had Asian people, you had...
Bounced like my checks did back in the day. Pierce Washington was one of the best characters in Saints Row. Pretty much every ethnicity was represented. You did have Asian. You had pretty much every single...
Johnny Gat was Asian, right?
Yeah.
There's a solid game here and plenty of fun to be had with the new Saints Row, but I find myself wishing the team had taken the concept and ran with it to the bank before robbing the said bank, of course. Alyssa Mercante.
So this is somebody who probably never played the originals, or at least 3 and 4. Because my gaming experience is based on 3 and 4 only. So you had diversity, you had inclusion, you had representation. As long as you only count people by the color of their skin, which is what these sort of people do. So I don't even see the story or any of that stuff so far from what I've seen. Keep in mind, I've just been watching Let's Plays and haven't actually played it yet because it's $60.
Polygon. If you enjoyed previous Saints Row games, you'll probably like this one. If you've never played the one, this is a decent onboarding point. If you are a fan of Saints Row 2 but found the later entries to be too aggressively bonkers, you should give the new Saints Row a try. It's still got that comedic series edge, but it doesn't break the knob off. It's worth noting, however, that even though the game sometimes frustrated me and the core gameplay loop wasn't especially new or innovative, Saints Row is the first game I've reviewed in years where I finished it, wrote the review, then went back and started playing it just myself. So that's positive.
Yeah. That tells me it's not very long, though. Because these game reviewers, they only have, a few days,
a day or two maybe.
Yeah, I'm worried now that the main campaign isn't going to be very long.
There's actually a lot to do in this game, but it's just such open world number that that even stuff that sounds great on paper, like permanent wingsuit that allows you to bounce off pedestrian's head to gain altitude, doesn't quite work right. Okay,
there you go. That's what I'm hearing about. That's what I'm noticing more. Stuff that doesn't work, the bugginess. I'm seeing a lot of weird glitches.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of glitches online. We're seeing a lot of stuff that just parts of the game just don't work. That's it. Yeah.
That would be my biggest detractor so far, is why I'm not picking this up as a fan of the franchise, as somebody who can kind of take some of the woke stuff with a grain of salt. And you know what? If you read too much into it, you're going to hate anything with a woman in it, or you're going to hate anything with a diversity in it. Because we're getting to that point with a lot of these people who are like the anti-SJW side of the internet. They just hate anything with women in it at this point. So you don't have to exactly play the character as their design. You can change them, you can customize them, but...
I mean, like I said, it gives you a lot of leeway to do this. It's in, like I said, the new entry feels like back to basics reboot, but technical issues and bugs, many more frustrations conspire to make this a middling experience at launch. It's unfortunate because when Saints Row fires on all cylinders, it's an absolute blast with some truly lofty high points. While there is a day one patch coming, my experience is plagued by performance issues. Okay, so this sounds more. Yeah.
This is what I'm seeing as I'm watching people play.
Over my roughly 30-hour review period, the game hard crashed 7 times. Oh, God. On occasion, skills made my character freeze, forcing me to exit and reload my save. Another time, an explosion caused my camera to get stuck, pointed at the sky. Okay, so that sounds more like indicative of what's happening.
And this is another reason I kind of held off on it, because the last game was like that. Saints Row 4, there's a mission towards the end where you're chasing after a Sid or something, and you just can't do it unless the first player does the majority of the mission. Like the second player can't.
It was unfixed. It was game-breaking bug. I've played like games that are been like that. I mean, there was a Need for Speed game where if the car ventured off the track, it would bounce uncontrollably, but fortunately they fixed it.
Yeah, they never do with the Saints Row.
No, they never do. Yeah, they'll fix it sort of and hope for the best.
Yeah, this is new enough. They might fix some of these, but I'm definitely on the. I'm gonna wait until it's at least half off, which probably will be pretty soon.
I think it's you can get a more fair assessment of the game if you wait until the bugs are fixed. I mean, which
sucks. I mean, you're not going to be able to talk about it at launch.
No.
But we're kind of in the day and age where when a game launches, they're not even finished anyway.
Yeah.
Most of them, you need the day one patch. And that's so frustrating about AAA gaming, too. This is why I kind of stick with indie stuff like Terraria or a lot more of the Nintendo stuff. We've been playing a lot of Fall Guys and Multiverses. Like just little either free-to-play, those sort of stuff. Because these $60 out of the gate AAA games are so many of the time just inundated with bugs and crashing. Elden Ring wasn't, but that's definitely if you like.
Elden Ring's more polished.
Yeah, it's a lot more polished. It's a lot more difficult too. It's not like a game for everybody. Yeah. So.
All right. Well, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, and I think anybody just like blaming the wokeness on this game failing is really missing the point of, like, sometimes games just have to be playable too.
Yeah. All right, so that's it. That's
I'm Mecca.
I'm off camera, Rob.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!
That's good beer.